Well, let's look at QE, what it basically does. I mean, QE starts by the government effectively, or the Bank of England, hands over money to bankers and says, here's free money, go take it, use it. Now, if you or I are given free money, we actually will manage to make a profit on it. Of course, in the world of high finance, they use all sorts of leverage tricks and they make huge amounts of money. Traders then come along and say, well, I'm a genius. I've made all of this money for the bank, so I deserve a huge bonus. Now, again, like footballers, some of them are absolutely brilliant, but others just happen to be people that, because they're given something for free, make money. With their bonuses, what do? They go out and they buy themselves lovely palatial houses in Chelsea or Knightsbridge, or indeed into Essex and other parts of the general hinterland of London, and therefore the money trickles down. But really, is it effective? Does it actually create jobs up front? Of course not, because if we look at these unbelievable sums of money, hundreds of millions, I mean, pretty much every month being sent over. It
would pay for 200 years of job seekers allowance.
Precisely.
A figure of 850 million.
The point is, if you think about the cost of creating jobs, what new businesses want, there are entrepreneurs who are looking for 10 or 20 or 50,000 pounds in capital. You could go and create huge numbers of jobs.
So why do they do it? Why do politicians of all stripes, bank governors of all stripes, do this?
Unfortunately, the tragedy is that the banking industry and the politicians are involved in some sort of incredibly unfortunate tussle. We have a situation where I'm not quite sure if it's the Stockholm Syndrome where the banks have taken the politicians hostage or vice versa. It kind of varies according to time. But the difficulty is we saw someone like Prime Minister Gordon Brown, who supposedly had been a long-standing experienced finance minister, was entirely taken hostage. And he then decided, oh, we must bail out the banks. And therefore, from that little acorn, we've now ended up with actually a very, very messy regime. What people really need is a simple, even, open-handed, and as far as I'm concerned, capitalist system, but we need a chance to essentially be able to create our own businesses, to work hard, to improve ourselves. The problem is, what we've got at the moment is a kind of likely Soviet system where the banks and the politicians are controlling our lives.
It's the
and
glamour,
I find that very worrying.
It's the glamour of it, maybe.
Well, it probably is. But on the other hand, you see, what I would also say is banks, in the very long term, have actually peaked. And that's the thing nobody has learnt, because the internet is driving new technology to make finance more efficient. And that's probably where the hope lies for small business, rather than relying on banks, because banks don't want to give out mortgages. They want to give out mortgages to property. They don't want to give out loans to small businesses.